Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, we are talking about how to get what you want. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a lot of people who seem to be dissatisfied these days because of so many things that have happened recently, especially with the escalation in the cost of living here in the United States, at least. So many of us are feeling dissatisfied with our lives and a little bit hopeless, I would say. And today we're going to talk about how to get what you want, how to take back some control of your life if you're feeling like you're really lacking control. This is the big thing for me. I often feel like I don't have control over what is happening in life, and I've used this type of belief system to really turn that around for myself. So I'm going to share it with you today. This is the I Care About You podcast. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed, who watches the videos. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's pre-ordered my book, which I'll put a link in the description for you. Reasons to Live. It drops in September 10th, but every pre-order really, really helps me out and gets me out and about on the book tour so that I can meet all of you. Louise Hay said, "What you affirm to yourself, you are." And that's true in so many ways. What you think your life is your reality. What you feel about things around you and yourself is your reality. If you think everyone's out to get you, that's your reality. If you think everyone is just trying to survive like you are, that's your reality. If you think everyone is incredible and helpful, and some people just have bad days, then that's your reality. Right now, my reality is that I'm trying to do this podcast, and my puppy, Sweet Jane, is down at my feet playing with something and wanting me to play. So it's very hard to stay focused. Let me get her for you so you can see. So here she is. This is Sweet Jane, and this is what she has to play with. So you might hear a lot of her in the background as we talk. So what you affirm to yourself, you are. What does this mean? How you see the world, what your viewpoints are, what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are about the world at large and yourself is your reality. If you think you can't do it, you can't. If you think you can, you can. All those types of sayings that you've seen on social media and everywhere are really kind of reflecting this belief. What you affirm to yourself, you are. So how do you kind of shift those beliefs if you've really gotten into a negative mindset or you really have a lot of limiting beliefs and things like that? The first thing to do is visualize what you want your life to be. You should really spend some time doing this. Now, as most of you know, I'm a meditation teacher and I talk a lot about meditation. And here is really where a visualization practice can come in handy for you. Just taking 5-10 minutes or longer, if you're a seasoned meditator, to imagine your life. Imagine everything about it. Imagine what it looks like, the colors that are around you, the people that are around you, what it looks like when you look around. Use all of your senses. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Use all your senses to visualize. You can be your life at large. It can be a particular thing you're working on. It's very, very important when you're going to a job interview or something like that, or you're about to have a conversation that's really important to you, to visualize what that will look like from start to finish. And do this over and over and over again and hone it really into exactly what you're looking for. Really visualize it to the best of your ability. It's like daydreaming to the extreme. And I did a podcast on daydreaming, which I'll also link in the description, that might come in handy for you. So really visualize it and live into it. What does it look like? What do you feel like when you're in that visualization? Do you feel happy? Do you feel excited? Do you feel confident? Do you feel in control? What are those things that are important to you? And sometimes this is important to write down these things before you visualize it. Like you might do either a vision board where you're finding images and phrases that really reflect what you want your life to be like in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, forever. And you're putting those on a board that you can put on the wall and look at, or you put in a book and look at, or you're writing it down in a journal or something like that, or you're dictating it, or whatever it is that you do to kind of record these thoughts. Do that for yourself before you visualize, or after you visualize, or during, as you're refining it and changing it. Some people do a big vision board and then they look at it for a couple minutes before they close their eyes and visualize. So it's easy to visualize. You just find a really comfortable place to be, close your eyes, and start imagining what the best thing you could possibly want is. And if you had it right now, what would that look like and be like? You have to really live into it. So live into this. You try to bring some components of it to your general regular life, like you're imagining that you're going to be financially stable. Try to bring some of that feeling into your own life somehow. Can you bring it in with an emotion? Can you bring it in with a sense of security? Can you bring it in with treating yourself to some smaller item and really taking a moment to feel incredible gratitude for this thing you have? Is it a splurge on something? Is it just shifting your mindset to feel more confident in your own financial security? Is it working with somebody to find out what that financial security is? What can you do to bring some of that into your life today? Sometimes it's as simple as just finding happiness. After your visualization, oftentimes you're happy. So bring that into your daily life. Bring some phrases or words you might use if you were financially secure into your regular life. Start living into that visualization, even if you don't have the things like money at the moment. Just really live into it the best you can in small little ways, in bigger ways, however you can bring it into your life. Bring it into your life in that sense of abundance and gratefulness. As I said, meditate on it. This visualization is kind of a meditation as well. So you want to just take some time. It's really helpful to set a timer. When you're first learning to do this, it's very, very hard to control your racing mind. I really had a long time with that, and it was a struggle for me to get into meditation because my racing mind was so on fire. It was very, very hard to stick with a visualization. So our meditation practice. So start really simply. Maybe it's only a minute, 2 minutes. You set a timer. Maybe it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Set a timer and work up to maybe a 10 or 15-minute span. Try and figure out when is the best time for you. Obviously, meditating and visualizing is challenging when it's a time in your day that is incredibly busy, like if you have children and you're feeding them dinner or bringing them somewhere or doing something like that, or you're at work and it's very, very busy. Pick times where you can have this space. For me, I do this before I go to sleep and when I first wake up in the morning. I wake up actually 15 minutes before I would normally wake up just to do this practice. And when I go to bed, I usually take about an hour to meditate before I go to sleep. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, so an hour is easy for me. But if you haven't been doing this for a long time, you really want to take it in small chunks to find success. And as I said, write down every detail or record every detail and however that is that you do that. So many people have really done these things and they have great stories about, I did this vision board and one of the things was a nice house and I actually now live in a house that looks very similar to that vision board. Or I got the job that was on the vision board, or I found a relationship or success financially. The universe wants to give you those things. So if you're asking for them in that way and you're creating a life that supports that, you will get those things eventually. And when I mean a life that supports it, it's not only dreaming about it, thinking about it, it's also becoming it. It's living into it. It's becoming what that is. It's learning that maybe you need some skills to get those things, and what are the skills, and going out and getting those things. And you don't have to go big. You can take small little steps along the way to get there. Be really thankful for everything you have now, everything you will have in the future, everything that is. Be very thankful. Thankful for your ability to be able to imagine something different for yourself. And the other thing is to let go of negative beliefs, negative self-talk, feelings of unworthiness, and limiting self-beliefs. When you hear those in your mind, shift your focus. I no longer think this about myself, and replace it with what you do want to think about yourself. I no longer think I'm unsuccessful. I am successful in my career. I'm just in a position that's a stepping stone right now, but I'm going places. Change this negative self-talk and belief within yourself and your unworthiness. This could be affirmations, which I think are super, super important. I've talked about this before. I've done podcasts on it. Affirmations are really important. If you spend a couple minutes every day, maybe it's even 30 seconds, 60 seconds every day while you're getting ready for the day, repeating positive affirmations to yourself. I am worthy. I am loved. I have value. It can be very simple things like that. You say over and over and over and over to yourself again. I've told this story before, but I have one that is let it go. It's a mantra that I use when I'm doing yoga or other things like that that don't involve a conversation. And just the act of saying it over and over to myself for a year has given me the space to actually let a lot of things go. When I used to be a person who had a huge challenge with letting anything go, I kept hold tightly of everything negative that happened. And in just being able to say that mantra to myself daily has helped me immensely. I can't even find the words to tell you how easy it is for me to let things go now. Of course, I hang on to some things because I'm human and I'm imperfect. But I've been able to let go a lot of things I never could before. And the final thing is to act as though you already have what you want. I sort of alluded to this earlier, but you really want to find a way in your life where you can act like you already have it. For example, in writing this book, a year and a half before I wrote the book, I decided that I was going to act as though I am already a writer. I'm already a writer. What would a writer do? A writer would join a writing group. A writer would do this research. A writer would write every day. A writer would do these things, whatever it was I defined as a writer. And I started being that immediately, just one day. Now, I've always written a lot for various things, usually marketing and stuff like that. But I really took this seriously, and I am a writer. I'm going to act like I already am that. I'm going to tell people I'm that. And it was really scary to say when people said, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a writer. It was hard for me to do that at first because I felt like I'm not really that. And now I'm going to have to explain myself. But nobody really asked me to explain myself. And I got involved with groups like a writing group that was the people wanting the same thing, looking for the same thing, seeking the same thing in their lives. And we were all writers in that space. And that really helped me to act as though I already had it, to live into what I wanted to be. And lo and behold, a book deal just dropped in my lap, and I am now a writer with a book being published, coming out from a publishing house. It's incredible. It's incredible what you can create for yourself if you're willing to live into it and let go of these other things that have been holding you back. Be what you want to become. Be that. You've heard so many of those things when people talk about how to be successful in business or whatever. Fake it till you make it. Be what you want to become. All those things. That is important. It's important to do that so you can take the step to learn how to get there. If you don't take the step, if you constantly say to yourself, well, I am just a person who works at this fast food restaurant. I am that. Even though I want to be the manager, I am just an employee and I'm sticking with this. Well, that's all I am, is the counter person. That's a limiting belief because you should never use I am just, I am only. Those words that kind of keep you in that space. You act like you're a manager. It doesn't mean you go into work and you start bossing everybody around or anything like that, but you start observing how would a manager handle this situation? Would they be more engaged? Would they try to satisfy the customer? If there was an unhappy person, what would a manager do? How would they collaborate with the other employees and the people coming into the business to purchase things in order to have a positive experience and bring more people in? Act as though you already have it. When you're out in your life, act as though you have more control in that capacity of managing your own life rather than I am only a person who doesn't really have any control with anything. That's a limiting belief. Let go of that when that seeps into your mind and be like, no, I am a person that can control my own destiny. I can manage my own life. I can live into my dreams. Dreaming is so important. So many of us have forgotten how to do that because we feel that's either childish or we don't deserve it. Or, well, if I dream big and I don't achieve it, then I feel sad. Instead, dream big and achieve it. Figure out how to get there. Sometimes your big dreams are just for fun, and sometimes they really are something you want. And to be able to identify those and then work towards what you want in small ways, to be what you want to become. So, As you outline what you want to become, look at it and say to yourself, what is one thing I can do today to be one step closer to that ideal situation? What is one thing I can do? Is it visualizing? Is it meditating on it? Is it writing it down? Is it creating a vision board? Is it just imagining how wonderful that will feel within inside myself and bringing that feeling with me throughout the day? Is it living into it in some way? Is it signing up for a class? Is it learning how to do something? Is it doing some research? What is the one thing you can do today to get one step closer to your goal? And live that in your life. What is one thing I can do today to be that thing? What can I do today? Even if it's something you don't want to do. I'm not very good at social media. I got really burned out on it when I went through being burned out in my job. And it's been hard for me to kind of get back, but I know I have to do that for this book to promote it. So I've been doing little components of that every day. And it's hard to do it. It is hard, but it's also been really rewarding because I'm reconnecting with people I haven't really talked to in quite a while. And that's been a real joy for me. And it's reminded me how much I really liked being on social media and what are the positive things about it. Because I had twisted it into just this negative thing that sucks all my time, that I don't like, that's really hard to do. I have to make so many images, blah, blah, blah. And I was able to just kind of let that go and get back in. It's still hard some days to do it. I have a hard time, but it gets better every time I do it. Do that for yourself. What is one thing you can do today to get closer to your goal? If you feel like it, please let me know what that one thing is. Write it in the comments, or you can always DM me through my social media platforms if you like. And as always, my friends, know that I love you and know that I support you, and you got this. You can get what you want. You can. It is possible. Just look around. There's plenty of role models for this. Anyone you admire has gotten what they want. So if you admire them, they're just a regular person just like you. They've achieved these great things. If they can do it, you can do it. Trust me. All right. Take care, my friends. I love you.